All right, here we go. By Asmongold.
Henry
Asmongold, the
Novak
goat.
body cam footage is released. Let me let everybody know what's going on. Henry Nowak was stabbed by a Sikh immigrant in Great Britain. They're able to carry their ceremonial dagger. The police were called. The police ignored Henry, arrested Henry because the Sikh guy...
Hold on, wait. So, like, could we, like, technically make a religion? Like, again, the American Protestant cowboys. Could we make like that religion, and you're like required in the religion to carry a 6-shooter? Or actually, let's just go all in. Like, why not? Like, you're legally required to carry an AR-15 with a full 30-round mag, fully automatic.
Sikh guy said that Henry was being racist after the Sikh stabbed him while they took the other guy out to have him pick out dinner. I'm not even
Oh
kidding.
my
So
God,
this is
dude.
the body cam footage. It just came out.
He keeps dropping side to side, so I'm just trying to keep him set up. He's got a mouth full of blood. I don't want him.
He was on the bin on the other side of this gate.
He's jumped over these fences and stuff like that. And he's up here.
Away, mate.
He's obviously he's fallen from there and he slipped from there. There's other shoes left over there.
That's Henry,
What's
I'm
your name,
assuming,
mate?
right?
Has anyone been hurt other than him?
Yeah, me. He's grabbed my brother. He's took my turban off, started grabbing my head.
Are you injured?
Yeah, I've got swollen eye, little bruises.
Alright, just step back a little bit for me. Someone flag these down.
Got this stabbed.
Right, let's get you out of there, shall we?
So he says I've been stabbed.
I was in bed, asleep. Whenever we just find me up there.
This is twice?
I can't breathe.
Grab his other arm.
Help. So I've just gone right up here and look on St. Dennis Road.
Thank you, Asmon, for the giga censoring.
You've been stabbed? Whereabouts? Don't think you have, mate.
That's what. And then
It's real.
They freaking handcuff him after he said he got stabbed.
I can't breathe.
Put the hand in the cuff, mate.
Yeah. This is like
He's saying he's been stabbed, so let's just check him.
Why would the knife do this?
In the face?
That's true. Why would the knife do this? That's right.
Keep you on your side, mate.
Why wouldn't they call
We were sat up when we had
EMS?
him here, but he didn't like it. At the moment, you are under arrest. That's for assault.
Yeah,
So you
this
don't
is
have to say
fucking
anything. How
awful,
many
man.
questions? Do not mention one question. So we'll switch you later line of court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence, alright? You'll be sick, I think.
She's not
Wait, does that mean that white people can say I can't breathe now? I think they have a better case for it, personally. Just, if I had to say, right?
responding. You didn't think to call the police? Or not the police,
That's
the
what you call
EMS?
it.
His pupils aren't even reacting.
Henry Novak's father directly calls out disgusting behavior of the police.
With his final words, he told officers that he could not breathe. He told them he had been stabbed. In fact, Henry told officers that he could not breathe 9 times. He told
Nine
them
times,
he had
man.
been stabbed 4 times. The response from one officer was, "I don't think you have, mate." The police have said they were misled by the murderer and that the scene when they arrived was complex. Unfortunately, it's
What do you think the odds that these cops are going to jail? What do you think the odds that they're going to go to jail like the other guy?
seems to us the truth is much simpler. The police were told by our son himself and by a member of the public who called 999 that they heard someone shout that they had been stabbed. But the
Oh, it makes sense now. They got scared because they called 999. That's why they don't like Nazis, and you know what I mean. Like they call everyone Nazis over there.
police did not believe them. Henry was pulled across the gravel, his hands forced behind his back, and he was placed in handcuffs. Instead
This
of
is
being
so
treated,
stupid.
police forced
This is so dumb. Like, and you're telling me there's no media coverage of this, and then you're telling me I had to sit through like years and years of the like I can't breathe, hands up, don't shoot. You're telling me I had to go through years of this, and then like there's not even any coverage of like there's what the hell,
arrested
man.
Henry for assault and read him his rights. That was the last thing
Jake
he
Monroe's
heard.
been all-
The
dude,
way
I gotta
he was
watch Jake
treated
Monroe
was
on it.
inhumane. His murderer, however, was afforded decency. He was believed. He was not handcuffed when arrested. He was not handcuffed when transported to the police station. As far as we understand, he was never handcuffed at all. Police even took him to the kitchen so he could choose his food.
Man.
The contrast is unbearable.
And keep in mind, like, this is after the family was screaming and shouting in the courtroom that the judge was racist for putting the person in jail. His mom literally hid the knife. Yeah. Digwa's mother allegedly filmed removing the knife from the scene and taking it to the family home. Lindsay Hoyle has intervened to force the government to issue a statement on the Henry Novak case. Keir Starmer has issued a statement on Henry Nowak. This is an awful, shocking case. Henry's loved ones have gone through the trauma of a long trial and endured Henry's killer making up and appalling claims about their son.
You think he cried? You think Starmer cried like he did for Floyd?
Who was a thoughtful, kind, deeply loved. And we must end this cycle of tragedy by tackling the horror of knife crime. It's not knife crime. It's the people that are using it. There's a group of people that are doing the knife crime. And also, look at this here. Nobody did any stories on this guy. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Once people see, and I think they're beginning to, I think we're going to have a very big change of heart. This is why I talk about it, is because I know that eventually more and more people are going to see this, and then things will change.
Is this one right here? Life sentence?
Judge William Mousley Casey says Henry Novak was defenseless during the attack. He says Vickrum Digwa told attending police that he had a small bruise and swelling on his eye. Mousley adds Digwa filmed Henry desperately trying to get away. Isn't that disgusting that that's the case? You have the humiliation along with the injustice of this. He filmed Henry try this poor, sweet boy with a loving family. He filmed it? What kind of sick, twisted pleasure was he going to get from that? This little thought that he was going to get off. He thought he was going to walk. He thought he was going to walk from this. Mousley has Digwa filmed Henry desperately trying to get away. You continue to make films of Henry suffering, ignoring much of his desperation at having been stabbed, the judge says. Your actions stirred up racial tension. You have brought shame upon your family. Whoa! You have brought shame upon your family and your religion, the judge tells Vickrum Digwa. Oh, okay. This judge is a little cooler than I initially
what the
thought.
hell?
Look at this. You have brought shame upon your family. Shame on you.
Finally.
Shame on your family. Shame on your cow. The judge tells Vickrum Digwa, your actions have stirred up racial tension in Southampton and across the country, which have made many Sikhs worried about their safety.
They say you need to only call the cops, that you don't need a gun, but then you have this happen. Yep, exactly.
Give a Does this look like the face of a goth who cares?
That's the last thing you want. That's the last thing you want, is the government coming to help you.
It's not. You bear some responsibility for the offense committed by your mother. When you asked her to take the murder weapon away from you, your mother has remained in custody for the past 7 months. Because you guys need to remember that this all happened back in December. Yeah, you have to remember that this all took place in December last year. Okay, so these people have been held since. So people are just like, well, if it's 20 years and 190 days, how is that 21 years? It's because they've already been in custody for the last 7 months. And here it is. Vickrum Digwa jailed for life with minimum term of 21 years. Minimum term. Judge William Mousley Casey hands down the sentence for Vickrum Digwa. As a reminder, Digwa was found guilty of the murder of Henry Novak. This took 7 months, but hey, we got there in the end. And carrying a bladed article in a public place. Mousley says there were several aggravating factors to increase the starting point of the term, including Digwa's attempts to lie to police and cover up his actions, and the significant community impact of the crime. Those factors, the judge says, increase the minimum term to 23 years. This was reduced to 21 years thanks to mitigating factors, including Digwa's age, 23, and a previous good record. Shouting in court after sentence is handed down. After the sentencing and after Vickrum Digwa is let out of the dock.
So wait, hold on. How do you get jailed for life with a minimum? So what, like, he can get out? You can get out of life sentence?
Between family and friends of Digwa and his victim, Henry Novak, there was shouting and angry words are exchanged with security guards intervening. Eat shit, G. Eat shit. Eat shit, G. 21 years. I'm so sick of seeing tiny brown fists gripping sharp objects. I'm honestly sick of looking at it. Unbelievable. Yeah, we killed your kid, but we're mad that we're facing consequences for it. Makes you sick. No sentence will bring Henry back. Henry Novak's family are giving a statement on the steps of Southampton Crown Court. Mark Novak, Henry's father, is joined by his daughter and Lucy Ross, Henry's mother. They say no verdict or sentence will ever bring Henry back into their lives. Turning to the night of the murder, Mark says his son told police that he could not breathe 9 times and that he'd been stabbed 4 times, only to be met with disbelief from one officer. Instead of being treated as a dying victim.
Hold on. You're telling me that this guy said that he got stabbed and the officers were like, yeah, bullshit. They didn't even look. I mean, they could easily tell because there would be fucking blood. Like, what the fuck?
He's formally arrested Henry for assault, read him his rights. That was the last thing he heard.
It's so ridiculous.
The right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. That kind of shit. He says, let us be clear. We hold
guys, why do why do white people hate white people so much? Like, what is, no, I saw it, but like, I'm saying, like, I'm just in disbelief that that's what happened.
Responsible for the brutal
even though,
murder
like,
of our
I know
son.
it
Henry
happened.
should not have
it's
died
so
on the
weird.
streets of Southampton in police custody. The way he was inhumane and degrading. His murderer, however, was afforded decency. He was believed. He was not handcuffed. The contrast is unbearable, and that's why this sentence should not exist. Because of this contrast that exists, Vickrum Digwa is not solely responsible for Henry's death, is he? There is an entire system, an entire culture, an entire race standing behind Vickrum Digwa, isn't there? They may not want to make this something bigger than what it currently is. I will! Because Vickrum Digwa is not an isolated incident. It is not a coincidence. It is not a freak accident. It is a perfectly predictable scenario based on the circumstances that allows someone called Vickrum Digwa to live in the UK. Victim's family call on Home Secretary to ensure full, fearless, and transparent police investigation. Okay, so we're getting into the police investigation aspect of this. As a reminder, the police watchdog, the Independent Office for Police Conduct, has launched an investigation into the police response to Henry's murder. So the IOPC. The 18-year-old was initially treated as a suspect by police despite suffering 5 stab wounds and was handcuffed after Vickrum Digwa claimed he had been racially abused. Calling for a transparent process, Mark Novak, Henry's father, says his family should not have to fight.
This is like, dude, this is like, this is awful, but I can't help but laugh at the situation. Like, it's so ridiculous. It's like he stabbed the fuck out of this person. The person, like think about what happened, right? What happened is so funny, but in like a dark way. He gets stabbed, and then he's like, I'm bleeding out, I can't breathe. They handcuff that guy, and then they ask the other guy, and he goes, yeah, he was like being racist to me. It's like the most fucking ridiculous you know what I mean? It's like, it's everything, dude. This almost looks like a psyop. Like, I'm just being real. Like, this, it's like too perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it's too perfect to like what everybody believes, right? It's like it's everything that happened. It's everything that happened in like the BLM thing, but actually, do you see what I mean? Because like the whole that whole thing was all bullshit, obviously, right? But then you look at this specific scenario, and it's everything that they wanted the George Floyd situation to be. And the icing on the cake, the guy claims racism at the end. Oh yeah, it's because of racism. It's like so ridiculously like what you would expect that it's almost unbelievable.
For the truth. While we await its final report, we are calling on the Home Secretary to ensure that the IOPC has the resources, authority, and independence it needs to conduct a full, fearless, and transparent investigation. Treat knife crime like the national emergency it is, family urges government. Continuing his statement outside court, Mark Novak says he does not want his son's murder to be used to create further division, hatred, or tension. I disagree. I disagree with this entirely. Because we don't have division, a was close enough with the intent to kill your son. I disagree with this wholeheartedly. This should spur on exactly what Restore represents. Less Digvas. Do you think under an immigration policy installed by Restore Britain would allow the immigration of Digva's family in the first place? No, they wouldn't. We want his story to make our streets safer for everyone. Well, do you know what? Without even knowing it, you've said the most correct thing so far. Because it will. We will never forget Henry. Nationalists, ethnats, ethno-nationalists will never forget Henry Novak. The family is scared, which is the problem. John B. Gray, you might just be right there, buddy. Maybe this is mitigating language to make sure they're not targeted by the Sikh community. They may very well be targeted anyway. That is why we're calling the government to treat knife crime as the national emergency that it is. We need real solutions. We need investment in prevention. We need stronger action on this.
Those damn knives. Those damn knives, like walking up and lying about lying about discrimination against knives, and like them just jumping up and stabbing people in the neck. Yeah, it's awful, man. Fucking knives.
The sale, the ownership, and the carrying of all knives. That would be. It's them carrying them because we already have strong action
fully
on the sale,
semi-sheathed knives. Exactly.
We actually already do have that. We do have this already. We have this already. The reason why Digva had one is because of his religion, which bypasses all of this. Okay, so yes, we already do have strong legislation and policies surrounding knife ownership and knife crime here in the UK. The problem is that the Sikh was allowed to carry one exempt from these laws because of his religious freedom, a religion that should not be in the UK. Say less. Know what I'm saying? Read between the lines. Sikh Federation attacks CPS for massive blunder during trial. The Sikh Federation has criticized the Crown Prosecution Service for making a massive blunder. What blunder is that?
The thing that they don't understand is like this actually is going to have a huge impact. I think it will. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the impact that this is going to have is going to be really massive, and you're going to have a lot of people being really pissed off. Like people are finally fed up with all of this, and they're going to go all the way basically at this point. Like you already see the sentiment. I mean, I saw a sentiment in chat just earlier. People saying like you know, send everyone back and stuff like that. You're gonna have stuff like that happen because of this, and this, all of this anti-racism, all of this quote unquote anti-racism, and the anti-accountability, the anti-checking for culture. All of these things are going to come together, and they're going to cause a flashpoint. And the thing is too, is it doesn't even really have to do with, okay, what happens in this specific scenario doesn't even matter. So you could say, right, I don't know these people, so I don't know the, you know, the Digvas or whatever. I don't know them, but it's totally possible. I don't know. It's totally possible that they are the type of people that would have passed through a cultural check, that they actually would culturally assimilate. Sure, you'd have their religion or whatever, right? But you could say that maybe they would culturally assimilate in other ways, and that they would normally be law-abiding citizens. A family member made a mistake, and, you know, there are people of all races that commit mistakes. You're going to have, despite crime rates, you'll have certain white people do it. You'll have certain Asian people do it. Certain, you know, all the other races. I mentioned Asians because just relatively low crime rates, right? It's possible that those people would commit a crime, right? But here's the problem. Even with that said, if all of the points align and that they actually were good candidates for immigration, it doesn't even fucking matter. And the reason why is because the government in both the UK, Europe, all throughout Europe, the government in the United States, in Western places, have fucked around so much with not caring about who enters the country, about letting in refugees, that it doesn't even matter. Because this exact case is going to still ignite the flashpoint and still create it. People don't give a shit about whether or not they actually are a cultural fit. No one cares anymore. And this is a situation that they've created by not checking. So what you're going to see now is you're going to see, if you know what, you wanted racism, you're going to fucking get it. You're going to get exactly what you signed up for. All of that thing that you said, oh my God, there's like so much racism. We need to like ignore all the things that happened with these. We can't talk about those people committing crimes. We can't do that because it's racist. Well, you're about to get real fucking racism. That's what's about to happen. I don't want it. Listen, I don't want it. I'm not advocating for it, but it's about to happen. It's about to happen, and to be honest, it's fucking deserved.
During the trial of Vickrum Digwa, it says
Where's the lie?
CPS should have made clear that the weapon used by Digwa during the murder was not a Kirpan, as it had been described throughout the trial. In the UK, carrying a Kirpan is legal, provided it is for religious reasons.
Yeah, exactly what Super saying, Vegeta. You want Nazis? This is how you get Nazis. And how long have I been saying this, chat? I've been saying this for fucking years. What's going to happen is there's going to be so much tyranny and so much bullshit that a new Hitler is going to come. And he's going to say, by the way, guys, I can fix this, by the way. Yeah, fix it. I can just elect me. And I got this, you know. Throwing up a couple Romans. Yeah, I got this. It's just, you know, I'm the second coming. And people will vote for that guy. Because people will be sick and tired of seeing their loved ones die. Of seeing their cities being... the cities turn to shit, of not being able to use the subway without being worried that they're gonna get stabbed. I mean, look at the chat right there. What does that say? What does that say? Enough is fucking enough. And I have been saying this for so fucking long because I want people to wake up. But you know what? They don't fucking listen to me anyway. They don't listen to me, and they just call me racist. They just call me racist. Oh, you're fucking racist, Leaflit. Don't say I didn't warn you.
The Sikh Federation says the decision not to release the photograph of the murder weapon is controversial and adds to the huge mistakes made by the police when they arrived on the scene. So you expect me to believe that despite all of the legal weaponry that not only Digwa had access to, but has been photographed holding on his person was not the weapon he used to stab this kid. I need to read the rest of this. Are they trying to say this? The Sikh Federation says the decision not to release the photograph.
You're not racist, you're realist. I am very prejudiced, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a very prejudiced person. Because it's not bad. I change my mind. If people have given me more information, I change my mind. You know, like if I see a person that like looks like a gangbanger and they like walk up to me, like obviously I'm gonna be like ready with my gun. You know what I mean? But then like if it turns out like that they're not, like, oh, like they're actually like some okay, I'll give you an example, right? One time I saw a bunch of people that they kind of look like gangbangers, like they had like the fucking do-rags on and stuff like that, right? But then when I got up close, they all had like matching Christian t-shirts, and I was like, oh, okay. You know, like you change your fucking mind, right? Based on the data. That's what the thing at the end said of the song. The end of the song said like trust your data, right? Like what the data that you take in. Trust your instinct and your research, right?
Politicians and commentators on the right who have made controversial statements based on they're talking about me. Statements based on incorrect.
I mean, it's the same with bikers too, right? It's not like a specific racial thing. I mean, you know, I would feel the same way if it was like, you know, any other race that had the same sort of attire, right? Because that attire like shows. Listen, gang attire, like street attire, gives off the perception intentionally that like you are into that culture, which is very violent and very much about crime. It's a signal. They're giving off that signal. So I'm not going to ignore the signals that people give off because I'm not retarded.
Information should have the decency to recognize the facts and stop attacking the Sikh community. Look, the only
police, what's going on?
Information that we have is that there are photos of this little running around in his dress with a kirpan strapped around his chest. Okay, that's a fact. It's also a fact that he sleeps in a room full of knives. He's enthusiastic about knives, and also he is legally to walk around with that knife. You're telling me, without any evidence, that the knife that was used in the attack, despite the legal knives that Vickrum had access to, he decided to walk around with an illegal knife instead? I don't understand. Where are they getting this information from? The Sikh Federation has criticized Chris, making a massive blunder during the trial. It says CPS should have made clear that the weapon used by Digwa during the murder was not a kirpan. Literally every.
Well, what do you want to happen? Like really, what do you want to happen? Like there's a person that's like walking around with a knife. And everyone knows Sikhs walk around with knives. So obviously you'd be like, well, what are you gonna say? Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. But I have a ruler and like I can tell that your knife is like a little bit too long and I can tell by the curve of the blade that it's not the right blade. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Every single report and account of the situation has referred to the murder weapon as a kirpan. In fact, we know what the word kirpan is now because that was the knife that had been identified. This makes no sense to me. So Vickrum Digwa, despite having access and ownership of a legal knife, decided to opt for an illegal knife with which he used to stab Henry. Wow, that would certainly absolve you of any religious ties, wouldn't it, Sikh community? This has nothing to do with Sikhism or any of that.
This is why it's stupid, for the reason I said. It's obviously retarded because like people that aren't Sikh aren't gonna be able to identify that kind of knife, and he's using the fact that his people carry knives to mask the fact that he's carrying the other knife. It's obviously
thing because he actually did not use the knife. You see the kirpan, he did not use it. He used one of your knives, not one of ours. So please don't hit him. Please give me a fucking break. So every account of the murder weapon says it's a kirpan. They say it's not. Well, how do they know? Why would they know? That makes absolutely no sense. Shall I carry my religiously protected blade around with me, or shall I perhaps opt for this illegal blade? I'll take the illegal blade with me. Yes. Off.
Holy shit.
Well, that certainly puts it into perspective for you, doesn't it? Henry Novak was described by his family today as an amazing young man, while Judge William Mousley KC says the student was careful and principled, of humor, warmth, and promise. Throughout his life, Henry did nothing wrong. He was a good boy. He enjoyed school, loved.
I'm telling you guys though, like you're just gonna have to trust me on this. I know a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people go from super accepting and like, oh yeah, you know, I'm okay with diversity, I'm okay with immigrants, to like we need to get all of them and put them in a fucking helicopter. Like I have seen people go from point A to point B in my life. I've seen it, and I'm sure you all have too. I'm just guessing, but I mean, let me just ask, how many of you people know a person that went from like, oh yeah, you know, immigration, cool, love diversity, love different cultures, go from that to like, yo, we need to get all of these people and we need to like just send them to the moon. I have seen so many people do that. And it's like, this is exactly what I've been saying for a long time. I keep saying this. It's like, you guys keep crying wolf, you're going to get the fucking wolf, actually. It's coming. It's only a matter of time. You've cried wolf so much that nobody gives a shit when the real wolf comes. This is literally that story, but like on a societal level.
Sport is well behaved, kind, popular. His teachers always had a soft spot for him. Southampton Crown Court heard that in the days following Henry's death, his school friends started a memorial at his secondary school, described as an overwhelming show of love, the community in which he grew up. Yeah, I don't care anymore about racial insensitivities. I haven't cared for quite some time. I've been reinforced my beliefs in the fact that I don't care anymore. Whites are best. Get these.
See, so many people have that sentiment now. So many do, and you know, you want to know why? And the thing they're gonna say is oh, it's like racist. It's racist right wingers again. They're gonna say that. The reason why right wingers are more likely to like adopt that stance is because people on the right care more about their family and their tribe than they care about other people. Again, the heat map. You look at the heat map thing, right? Where like people on the right care more about their neighborhood, their town, their friends, family, care more about that than like the people. And the amount of care they have lowers based on how far it is from them, right? And they're going to say that, oh, it's basically people on the right wing saying like, listen, if I got to choose between my family, my tribe, and people I don't really have anything to do with, then I'm picking our side every single time. So get the hell out of here. That's exactly what's going to happen. Essential archetype, it says, in The Boy Who Cried Wolf, the wolves are the heroes of the story. And thank you, No White Guilt Scrape. Thank you so much for the bits. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, here we go.
Out of my country. Get them the hell away from our civilization, our children, our institutions, our prosperity. Get them the fuck away. We don't owe them shit. We don't owe them anything. This poor boy. Speaking outside court, Novak reiterated that his family held Digwa solely responsible for the murder. This is a summarization, I believe, at the end here. That's it. Urged the government to treat knife crime like the national emergency it is. Knife crime, you need to understand, is merely a symptom. You can't treat the symptom. It'll continue to come back. You have to treat the cause. Knife crime is not a cause.
And so many people do this. So many people are unable to distinguish between the root of a problem and the symptom of the problem, and this is a widespread issue in every profession. I'm sure a lot of you people in your work have dealt with people like this, where they just keep patching up the problem, but they never fix the actual root of it, and the problem keeps coming back. You can patch the pipe as much as you want, but you know, if you don't fix the pressure problem, then it's going to keep coming back.
It is a symptom that is being caused by mass immigration. You see, you can't go after the final link in the chain. Knife crime is the result of mass immigration, of blacks in society, of cultures that revere violence, whose religions and cultures and history of themselves revolve around the desire.
So let me explain another concept, okay? This one will be, I think this one, a lot of leftists would get mad at this take, but I think it just makes sense. If you're going to go blank slatist, right? You're going to say people from this country that has a lot of cheating, a lot of crime, a lot of violence, you know, a country that is bathed in violence. Like there is just violence all the time. There is cheating all the time. There is scamming all the time. And those who commit acts, immoral acts, from our point of view, are rewarded. And this happens constantly, like in this place, right? Can you take a person from that country, bring them to your country, and then over time develop their bloodline, develop them and their family and their progeny? Can you develop them into people of a culture that can you assimilate them over time in your culture? I think the answer is yes. But hear me out. How long is that going to take? That is going to take 3-4 generations, maybe more. And here's the bottom line. I'm not waiting that long. I don't have to wait that long. I shouldn't have to put up with it. You are telling me to put up with bullshit for 60 years just so that somebody can come here for what reason? For what reason? To be nice? Get the fuck out of here. It's ridiculous.
For reactive violence. Knives are not the problem. You can go out there and you can take the knives away. In fact, you couldn't even. We've already taken the knives away, and Digwa still had his.
How about you fix their shit in their own country? How about you tell them, okay, you know what? Maybe we have a lot of money right now, and maybe we're really good people. So maybe if you beg us and you tell us that we're awesome, then maybe we'll help you out. And then maybe we can fix things in their own countries. The idea that we should just let them like ransack our country is just ridiculous. Like, who the fuck thinks that?
Because he's religiously protected.
That would require effort. Yeah, again, like if we feel like it, right? I mean, let's be real. Like, you know, people in the West, we do things because we want to. Like, if we want to be charitable, then good on us. That's for us to be charitable, right? Doesn't mean they deserve it. They should be fucking thankful.
Do so. And well, now we've lost this sweet young man. His life had literally barely started. He was still studying. I don't care about the Sikh community, quite frankly. I don't care. They shouldn't even be here. The Sikh community does not need to be here. I don't care for it. I don't really find much wonder or amazement in their culture. I've never really enjoyed anything that they've contributed to.
And this is another good point, by the way, by Jake. I mean, I don't know if this is the point that he's making, but it seems kind of like the point that he's making is if you say to yourself, okay, I am a Sikh person from, I don't know, India. Is that where they're from? I don't fucking know. I'm a Sikh person from India. I'm going to go to the UK. I'm going to go there, but I'm still a Sikh from India. Then what the fuck, right? Like what is that? Like what the fuck? Like you don't get to do that. What the hell? Yeah, why don't you go stay over there? That doesn't make any sense. See, I find there to be like a completely different thing from like a person that goes, you know what? I really like what America stands for. I really, really like that shit. And like, I'm going to, I'll wait in line. I'll pay my dues until I can get in. I'm going to work hard. And then, I'm going to embrace that fucking American mentality. I'm going to get to America. And the first thing I'm going to do is buy a fucking cowboy hat. Literally the first thing I'm going to do. Cowboy boots, cowboy hat, some fucking jeans. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, okay, fine. Right. But then that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. People come here and they're the same. They're literally just doing the same thing. They don't want to be here for the culture. They don't want to be here for that. They want to be here for the money and because this is where it's at. That's why. And like, I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know that, but I just got to get this off my chest. Like, it's just, I'm so irritated by it. You know what I mean? I'm so irritated. And this is why when people ask me like, Leaflit, what are you? American? What do you mean?
We don't need them here. We shouldn't have been here. The mother shouldn't have immigrated over, given birth to this little this idea of being like, well, you can't say that. It's racially unsafe. It's not all of them. I don't care.
I fucking love America.
People, it's all white people. We've lost just the sweetest. It's just it is absolutely heartbreaking.
If America went to war with Asia tomorrow, I'd fucking nuke all of them.
Unbelievable. That cuts me to my core. There's a little boy running around this house that looks just like that. That hurts. It's really painful, but you have to feel it. You have to feel how much.
Don't kill me. Well, I mean, like I wouldn't want to nuke all of them. I think of all the places that are a danger, well, maybe trying that. I don't know.
Because without any sense of trauma, that is, you're not going to have any conviction. You need to have conviction in what's going to. Like I said, they were going to beg for mercy from us. I don't feel obligated to give it to them, quite frankly. Do you? And they want us all to be.
Ooh, man, to do this, Jake videos get me so heated, man. You know what I mean? Like Jake's got that energy. It's just so infectious, man. Like that kind of. Ooh, really makes you want to just punch something, you know?
Think of the Sikh community. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the Sikh community. If they get ran out of town because of this, good. They're not, but that would be great. I would actively enjoy that. That would be fantastic because it's just one isolated
Thanks,
incident.
Crewfix, for the prime.
Could happen again. They're not from here.
Not violent, but he just makes me want.
I said this in the previous stream.
Change.
One was too many. Okay, you stop bringing people in, providing them with all the prosperities of white culture. What do they do?
Exactly.
They say that everything is shit. White people don't have
for free, by the way. For free. We give more shit to people that come here illegally.
Culture, and you're racist for merely existing. And then they go ahead and make gangs and they stab you and stuff, and it's just like, look,
and then they call you racist as you're bleeding out on the ground, handcuffed. They say that you're a racist. That the reason this is happening to you is because you're a racist.
Taken was literally one stabbing, one One murder. That's all it should have taken. You extend your hand to help someone in need. They come over and they just immediately start slashing around at everyone in the room. Leave now. Like, you don't, we actually don't need you here. We were just letting you in because we wanted to be nice, but you guys came in as a starting shit.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. It's what I say. You don't deserve to be here. If we let you here, it's because we're nice. It's that simple. You're here on our good graces. And if we decide, like, you know what? We don't feel like it anymore. You know what? We tried it. It was a bad run. All right. To be honest, it was a bad run. We're not going to do this anymore. And then they tell us like, oh, well, we deserve it. What do you mean it's over? Yeah, it's over. But we deserve it. No, you don't. We opened it up to be nice and you fucking abused it. So too bad. That's how I feel about it. Anyway, that was a Jake Monroe video. And Asmongold. That was kind of a long video on the whole case here. But Rupert Lowe here with the post. How many more young British men and women are going to die? Are going to die, bleeding in the streets, alone and terrified, cuffed in a pool of their own blood, begging for help. How many more parents are going to stand there and say that they couldn't help their children in their dying moments, apologizing to their dead children because they couldn't stop it from happening? How many more? This is going to happen again and again. It's happening right now in every city across the country. Rape, sexual torture, even worse, mass industrial abuse of British children. Henry Nowak is one of the thousands and thousands and thousands innocent young men and women put through the most unimaginable pain because our country has failed to do what needs to be done. Because children have been sacrificed to death in order to appease foreign countries that have no place in our country. For cultures that have no place in our country. I totally agree with this. Why are you here? Why are you here if your culture is foreign? What are you doing? I've had enough, all of it. If your number one culture is not America or the UK in this case, then what are you doing? Then what are you doing? I'm not saying you can't eat the food anymore or anything like that, but like, what are you doing? Like, if you don't want to be I don't know what the fuck do they call themselves, a Brit? I don't know. If you don't want to be that, you don't want to be an American, then what are you doing? Like, I get you want the money, but that's not the point. That's not who we are. We're not money. America isn't money. And honestly, I'm gonna be real. You want to know the 10 moves ahead thing? Remember what we were talking about earlier about how people can't see like many moves into the future? Like, all they can see is the immediate move and the immediate pieces that are engaged in like a specific. What happens if you open up the borders and you let people into your country from other places? You make it so that all the people that have capability to move are the ones that move. So now what happens is you are completely fucking those countries over for decades. You're fucking them over because those people should stay in their countries and fix it. The people that have the initiative to move out of there, they should be using that initiative to take care of their countries. It's not our fucking problem. And, you know, maybe if you ask us nicely, maybe we'll help you out. Maybe we'll help you out with some technology or something like that. Maybe some investment, maybe. I've had enough all of it. I'm going to look back in anger. I urge you all to do the same. Damn. This justice system was a shit stain on Britain. Police are pandering to DEI before justice. White men are being killed and white women and children being raped and killed. England, we must take back what is ours, I guess, as the government isn't listening. Blair, the Tories, now the worst of all culprits. Starmer and his subservience to the woke. The WEF, I don't know anything about them. The groups or whatever, are pandering to a certain demographic vote that has destroyed our country. Will we ever recover? It is absolutely imperative that you have a massive push to ensure that there are restore candidates in every constituency. I voted reform in the locals, but my vote will go to the party I believe most likely to sort the UK out. Could easily be restored.